Good. All right. Afternoon. Back at it today. Obviously, I had a chance to step away for a couple days, which was, I think it was good for the team. Spend some time with their families. And, I was really pleased at everybody's attentiveness today. Focus, kind of locked in, getting ready for, to go through the game, get some corrections, and then obviously turn the page and get ready for Minnesota. So, from that standpoint, we're kind of back into a normal week. Obviously some things to clean up from the game. That we got to get fixed. But, big challenge in front of us here with Minnesota this week. They play tonight, so hopefully we can get a head start here and kind of take that preparation advantage into the week to get ready to go. Divisional game on the road, always difficult, always a big challenge for us to play up there. Never easy. Obviously trying to go up and play a good game, complementary game, three phases working together, and hopefully improve. So it'll be a big task for us this week. As far as the roster, made a move over the weekend. We put Jeff Driscoll on IR. Think Jeff did a great job for us, really worked extremely hard while he was out there, did everything he could to try to help us win. Injury, obviously, last week on the short week, thought he could be ready in an emergency role for us, during the game. It was close for us from a standpoint, not really sure which way we were going to go. We were trying to hopefully hold out to see if it would turn the corner. Looking at it this weekend with our doctors after the game, probably be a little bit longer from that standpoint. So I thought it'd be the best thing for us, to do that for him. The other player I want to talk about is TJ Hockenson. We will put him on IR today or sometime this week. With his ankle injury, it's something that he's not going to be able to finish the season with. But both extremely tough players, both guys that, come to work every single day and, work really hard to improve and get better. Appreciate, everything that they've done so far for us this year. And, I know both of them will work hard to get ready for next year. So, we'll go from there as far as that's concerned. We did sign a quarterback, Kyle Sloter, from Arizona practice squad. He was actually up in Minnesota, something that we looked at extensively towards the end of training camp. We're kind of trying to look at our quarterback situation, someone we've seen on tape for a couple years now, kind of within the division and some of those situations. So a guy that we liked, we obviously, we're excited about our opportunity to get trade for David Blau. So we did that when the moves appropriately kind of happened, but he's definitely someone we've had our eye on as far as, having a chance to take a look at to compete. So good opportunity for us to do that now. I think that's really it as far as the roster is concerned, changes or anything that would be, coming up this week for us. Everything else as far as Stafford is concerned, still kind of working, in a week-by-week manner with him. From that standpoint, obviously in conjunction with our medical staff to, monitor that situation, but, always trying to give every opportunity we can to be, just kind of, see how it goes with him as far as that's concerned, understanding his continual competitiveness and wanting to be out there to play football. So, it's just kind of where we are right now with that situation too.
With Stafford specifically, since playoffs are no longer a possibility,
sure.
What would be the reason to play him at this point?
Obviously we're going to keep that door open and see what happens here with the, with all the stuff that we're doing with the doctors and everything from that standpoint, out of respect for, for Matthew and his competitiveness and what he means to this team and, what he brings every single week. We're going to just kind of take it week by week and see what happens from that standpoint.
Obviously, like you said, out of respect for him and all he's done, but at some point do you need to make an organizational decision like, hey, it's not worth it to come back for 1, 2, however many weeks. It's better to keep you healthy for 2020 and beyond.
I think we'll try to just make the best decision we can, whenever that timeline, if it does come up, whenever it comes up, we'll make that decision when appropriate.
Hockenson, just, thoughts on his year, I guess. Played 12 games, obviously had a really big game, sort of up and down production-wise.
Yeah.
A big part of what you guys did.
Probably hard to summarize an entire year right now, the current moment. We'll look at it as an entirety, but certainly I think a guy that was consistent from day one, someone that kind of worked really hard. I think he improved as the spring training camp and season went on. I think he worked really hard at his task and understand the differences between the college game and the pro game and some of the different looks that he was going to see, especially after early in the season when I think obviously a lot of production, a lot of stats early in the year. We knew things were going to change for him from that standpoint. I think he did a good job of changing some of his role. A little bit, kind of had a couple different roles from the tight end position, some of those situations there. So, something to hopefully build on. We know how difficult it is to make the jump from year one to year two, but, for us, for him right now, it's day by day, just trying to, work through the injury situation and try to get better.
He needs surgery.
Again, I don't have any specifics as far as what he needs from that standpoint, but it would be just working, try to get better by the day.
Matt, after a winless third quarter of the season and some of, the continued defensive struggles, how would you assess the job Paul's done in his role as defensive coordinator this season?
Again, I think for us right now, we're just focused on trying to, do everything we can to get ready for Minnesota. Certainly all of it from that standpoint. The coaching part of it was always, going to start with me, and we'll go from there. But right now, it's about Minnesota.
You played a lot of close games, led in every single game. Do you take that as something that's encouraging that you're so close seemingly, or
Sure.
discouraging that you only win 3 games yet have led in every game?
Yeah. Obviously you can, go half glass, half full, half empty, however you want. I think for us, there's positives in all of it and there's negatives in all of it. So we try to make sure we understand all of those and explain them and teach it and learn from it from that standpoint. Certainly rather be in close games than not close games, that's for sure. And how, obviously playing in every single game where you have a chance to win, that's obviously important from that standpoint. You just want to, you want to go out there and win. So I think you can look at it from both ways.
Has there been something that has broken, something fundamental that has prevented from pulling the games out in the fourth quarter?
I think for all of it, it's been different situations all the way through. I think if it was one exact, specific one thing, I think we would do everything possible to fix that one thing. I think for us, it's been the inconsistency of the different things throughout the course of the season that have caused us in those situations not to, not to be able to win. So, we're all trying to fix those the best that we can and obviously put ourselves in a situation where we can win those games. But like I said, the one thing about this team that is just really impressive to me is the way that they fight, the way that they compete, and the way that they're, trying to grind through every single game. So, from that standpoint, we have a chance.
When you're close like that, Coach, does it help you? Does it narrow, what you might need to get over the hump? In other words, suppose the game's blown out. You get a narrower focus on what you need.
No, I think in most situations, whether it's business or football or whatever it is, I think that last inch is always the hardest, right? I think that's what they usually say. So there's probably a lot of things in those situations that come up that you need to kind of be able to break through and push through. So we're close, but we're not there. So we got to fix all of it, no matter what the situation is. And again, like I said, I don't think it's been one specific thing in every game. It's been different in different games. I certainly do think that the one thing that we talk a lot about as a team that doesn't help us is the penalty situation. I think that's the one thing right now for us that we know we've got to improve on it. We got to get it better. Otherwise, it just puts us in such a hard situation to try to overcome those sort of mistakes that happen in the game. So that'll be a big focus for us.
You talk about the need to coach better pretty consistently after these games. You've led in every game. You've led or been tied in 9 of the fourth quarters. How would you assess the ability for your staff to make the in-game adjustments this year?
Obviously, I think the in-game adjustments are something that's critical for us. I think there's games where those have been done, at a high level, and probably some games that we go back and we look at and say, of course we should have done this or maybe made this change. I think when you play really close games, and I think when everybody's involved with that stuff, players and coaches, and you see the emotional attachment, I would say that you see in our locker room after a game to how much everybody cares, that the fact that we weren't able to win, I think everybody takes ownership for that all the way across the board. So I think everyone walks out of there going, well, we could have made this call, we could have made this adjustment, we should have called this situation here, I could have made this play, or I should have made this situation better, or whatever it is. So I think that's a positive from that standpoint.
Matt, you've talked about having to coach better and having to teach it better. When you look at your defense and what they've allowed a guy like Trubisky to do, or even the other day Haskins to do, does it kind of blow you away? These are guys that have struggled a little bit here, and they seem to be gouging your defense up pretty good. Or how would you, explain that?
I think for us, again, it's game by game, those situations. I think those guys are still NFL quarterbacks. David Blau went in there and did pretty well too against a pretty good defense. So I think week by week it's different. I think week by week it's you're trying to defend whatever they do defensively, and you gotta step up to that task. And when you don't, then there's a lot of room for questions and things like that. So those are areas that we've got to be able to handle. It doesn't really matter who the quarterback is. It's a team game from that standpoint. And certainly there's going to be aspects of it that, we need to do better. And we understand that there's situations where we had opportunities maybe that we didn't capitalize in some of those situations too. So, I think that's where we really stay focused from a defense.
You, the head coach, is it, how would you explain your emotions towards it? Is it frustrating? Is it angering? I mean, just, how would you, like, when you look at it, just,
Sure.
I mean, I know you guys put in a ton of hours there.
Yeah.
How would you explain it? Just
I think really honestly, whether we, you know, this is going to sound nuts, but whether we lose to Chicago, whether we lose to Kansas City, whether we lose to Green Bay, it doesn't matter to me. We lost. You know, that's so the emotion's the same no matter what. Those are NFL football players on the other side of the field. We know that on any given Sunday, anyone is capable of beating anybody, and that's the truth. I think it happened probably again yesterday, probably with a team that no one thought was going to win. And they did. So when those situations happen, you as a coach, you try to look at all the reasons of why and try to fix those from that standpoint and know that, you know, any of those games, you know, there's games that you just, when they're close like that, you want to win them and you want to figure out what the difference is. And, you know, it is an emotional game, which is great. That's why we love it. That's why we're passionate about it. And, you know, we're trying to win. So really about it. Just one more.
Wow. Yeah, I know you talked about him after the game, obviously, but just after watching the film, having some time to digest what he did, what did you like best about what he was able to do in his first game?
I think, you know, one of the things about Blau that's really, you know, I would say impressive from day one is just kind of his confidence, his, I would say almost fearlessness of being able to go out in that situation. Similar to Jeff, you know, when he kind of got the late nod in that situation, kind of step in and go. And I mean, from a backup quarterback standpoint, that's really, I guess, what you need to have, you know, in those situations, because you're preparing like you're going to play, but really probably thinking you're not going to play, and then all of a sudden you are playing, and you have to step in and handle that situation in its entirety. And I thought he did a really good job of that. There's a lot of details in there that we're trying to clean up today, and some things that I think could have helped us from that standpoint. But you know, I think the team, like I said, tried to rally around him, and I think he tried to do everything he could to help the team win from that aspect too. So. I thought all that was really positive. I thought his energy, and I thought you know, his desire to try to do the best he could to help this team is really the most important part for us. I think we could all see that.